So when you buy in the 7.3 or any diesel, make sure once you get there you check the oil. First thing first, you check the oil. Oil is fine, there is no smell, just smell it. It doesn't smell like fuel in it and everything. Check the transmission oil, especially if it's not smell burnt or anything like that. Look for oil leaks on the engine, under the engine, on the, you know, like all these major things that you need to look at. And especially in the coolant tank over here, when you open it, mine is kind of pressurized right now because I was running this truck, but inside there should be no oil residue or any kind of, you know, metal or slushy or anything like that. And also under the oil cap over here, if you see something white over there, just stay away from this truck. The next step that you have to do is just you go ahead and start the truck. So once you started the truck, the biggest thing you have to look for, well, of course, how it runs, right? How it idles, how smooth it is, and all this kind of stuff. But the main thing, especially if it's a diesel, you open up the oil cap and you should see the blow-by. So you put the cap on like that and see if it's going anywhere. This is for the 7.3 is completely normal stuff. I've seen a bunch of them and they all like that, especially when the miles kind of go into 300k. So keep that in mind. So buying a used truck could be a really tricky thing. So first thing first, you do the walk around, you see all the dents and you know, dings around the truck, but should it be perfect? No, it's a used old truck, so you will have scratches and everything. Then tires, that's the expensive component, you know, it's an expensive thing. Always look for the wear and tread and for the DOT number over here and the date when this tires was made. So when you're doing the walk around inspection, like I said, look at the old dings and stuff that you can find. Look at the bed, look at the rust. Next thing is lay around and look at your frame, especially the cab mounts and all these kind of things for the rust. Look at the spring connections to the frame, especially if you're up on the north. There should be no cracks or anything like that in that area. Look at the fuel tank, because, you know, leaks and stuff like that, because you are getting a 25-year-old truck. Exhaust system, just get around, try to move it and see if they got any cracks or leaks or stuff like that underneath. Just don't be shy, just lay around and check whatever possible things you can check. 7.3s are notorious to leak, so mine is not an exception. You can see there is already a puddle of oil and the whole transmission is covered with oil because I still have to replace the dipstick tube on my truck, and I will do this in the next couple videos. And so that truck is sitting right there. The math is like, altogether I have calculated it. Right now it seats me about 7 grand. It's also with the computer that I bought for the scanning tool, not the computer. Sorry about it. My English is not perfect and I know that. That's why I started this YouTube channel, just to train it, you know. And so that being said, 7 grand, I mean, it's double the price of this car, and you should understand that buying a used car, it can be good for you, at the same time it can be bad, because it can be really big financial disaster for you. Because just to fix the stuff that I fixed myself will cost you roughly around the same amount that I put in this truck. just on parts. I mean, 7 grand plus 7 grand. Calculate it. Is it worth 14 grand? No, of course not. So I hope I will help some people understanding that used truck can be as fortune and as disaster as well. So, and you should also understand that after spending that amount of money on that vehicle like that, will it be perfect? Of course not. And it will never be, because it's an old truck. Something will tend to break. Is this one is perfect? Of course not. It still has its backdrops. I mean, I need to replace the bushings on the front suspension. The bushings that, you know, two-wheel drive. There is 4 of them. And also I still have to put new shocks in it, because whenever I was towing the Excursion, it was like 176 miles one way. I felt like it doesn't hold that pressure like they supposed to be holding. So it will be the next episode. Also, steering gearbox needs to be replaced, as well as shifter on the transmission, because sometimes it won't start on the parking. So you have to put it in the neutral, then it starts flawlessly. But that being said, this is it. How much more money I have to invest in it? I mean, I have the steering column from E450. I will just swap it, so free. The steering column will also go from E450, so it's also free. But for the other people, if you have to go to the junkyard or buy new parts, it will be, I don't know, expensive. But yes, the shocks I will buy a new one, because there is no sense putting an old used shocks on the truck like that. So what else left on this truck particularly is the rear differential. I still have to change the oil in it, but other than that, it shifts good, it runs good, and I need to recharge AC, and also I need to find the leak in the AC. So